Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, I know, so I'm sorry about that, but I wanted to post a video of some Christmas designs. So these are 5 simple Christmas designs that I've done using gel polish, some glitter and acrylic powder, and I'm going to show you how to do each one of them. So the first design I'm going to show you is really simple and is the Christmas light design. I am using white and 548, which is the green, and also non-white top coat, this time from Premier Gel. I'm also using Carousel glitter from Glitter Stella, and I'm also going to be using my favourite fine detailer brush, which is from The Edge. I think these are roughly £15, but it's well worth your money, is because if you look after it, it will last you forever and ever, and I just love this brush. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay down 2 coats of white, and then I'll come back in with my green. So I've done my 2 coats of white, and now I'm going to decant a little bit of the dark green polish that I am using for the wire of the lights on just a bit of backing paper. I decided to use green rather than black just to make it slightly more Christmassy, and we're just going to use that fine detailer brush to make a looped up wire across the nail. You could do a full set of these and have the wire going across all of the nails, or you could just do some accent nails, but this is just a really simple Christmas design which is really effective. So once I'm happy with my line, I'm going to pop that in the lamp for a full 30-second cure. So once that has cured, I am coming in with non-white top coat, and I'm putting down not a thick layer but enough product so that our glitter sits into it really nicely, so that when we come back and top coat finally, there's no lumps and bumps or anything like that. Once I've popped down that top coat and I haven't cured it, I'm just using, this is just a art brush from the range, it's a size 0, I think it was a couple of pounds, and I'm just going to dip that slightly into the end just to make it sticky so that I can pick up my glitters. Then I am using the smallest of the glitters from this Carousel collection, and as you can see they're beautiful colours and they've got a really nice design on them, so they really catch the light, and I'm just going to paste those glitters up and down the wire, making sure that I don't place 2 colours the same colour next to each other so that we get a really nice variety of colours and they look like traditional Christmas lights. Once I'm happy with all of the glitter placement, and of course you can move these around because we haven't cured the product yet, I'm going to pop that into the lamp for a full cure, and then what I'll do is I'll come back in with the top coat again and make sure I float that across the top of the nail to make sure that none of those glitters are sticking up and we don't have any bumps or spikes or anything. If you did, you could buff over with a smoothing block and do a second layer of top coat, and that would solve your problem. But with these glitters being so small, you should be able to sink it into your top coat quite easily. For our next design, which is our woolly winter sweater design, I am using Belle from Halo, and this is a satin finish, and I just like to use that because I think it gives more dimensions to the nail. And I'm also going to be using an acrylic powder. This is Crystals from NSI, and it has got some glitter through it. You could also use clear. So I managed to completely miss filming me putting down the 2 layers of Belle, and then what I did is I went in with a matte top coat. If you don't have a matte top coat, you could use a non-white top coat or any top coat you have and buff to a smooth finish so you have the matte background. Now what I've done is I've decanted some of that colour onto our backing paper again, using the fine detailer brush again, and I am making kind of like little S shapes on the nail. Now I'm using quite a lot of product because we do want this to be raised, we want it to be 3D. So I am going to do these kind of half S's right down the centre of the nail and then come in and do some separate lines and dots. You can really play around with this to get this kind of cable knit effect. You can do loads of different designs. I just selected this one today because I thought it was nice and simple to show you guys. So I'm going to do that design and then I'll come and show you what I'm doing with the acrylic powder. To add the dots, I'm just using a medium-sized dotting tool. You can pick these up just about anywhere, craft shops, pound shop, nail art shops, you can get them really easily. So now that I've done my design, I'm not curing it, I'm going to come in with the acrylic powder. As I said, I'm using a glittery one. You could use a clear acrylic powder if you didn't have a glittery one, it's entirely up to you. And I'm just using the end of a cuticle pusher as a scoop, and I'm going to pour that over the wet design that we have done. Once that I'm happy that it's completely covered in acrylic powder, I'll tap off the excess and pop it into the lamp to do a full cure. So now that's cured, I'm just using a brush to dust off any of the excess powder, and as you can see, using that glittery clear acrylic gives it a slight sparkle, and using that satin gel at the back gives it a little extra dimension, but you can use any colours that you like. So for the next design, I am using Splendor, Nutmeg and Passion, all from Halo, and this is going to be a reindeer design. This is really simple as well, but it's nicer if you have younger clients, kids and stuff, and also of course adults love it as well, but I do find this is one for the younger clients. So I am starting off with 2 layers of Splendor, and then I'll start doing the design after I have done both of those coats, and of course they'll both be fully cured. So now that I've done both of those coats of Splendor and they're cured, I am coming in with Nutmeg, which is kind of appearing sort of purpley on camera, but it is more brown in true life. So I'm just using the brush from the bottle to create kind of 2 almost like semicircles, ovals, one at the bottom and then one above to make the shape of the reindeer's head. So once I've done that, I pop that in the lamp for a flash cure of 10 seconds, and I have now decanted some of that product onto my backing paper again so that I can use my fine detailer to make some antlers, which, to be honest with, I made a little bit of a mess of today, so I'm sorry about that. But I always like to leave these things in to show you that nobody's perfect, and you know, everything doesn't go perfect every time. Of course, you could wipe this off and redo them because it's gel and we have flash cured the other layers. So you could wipe it off and start again, but I just decided to go with it. So I'm going to do those antlers and then do another 10-second flash cure. For the next step, I'm using two dotting tools, a medium and a small, just to create the eyeballs. So I'm doing the whites of the eyes first, and I'm also going to do the glittery nose at the moment with Passion from Halo, and then I'll be popping that in the lamp for another flash cure of 10 seconds. So now that I've done the flash cure, I'm just going to do the pupils of the eyes using a black gel polish. I'm also going to go over that red as well to make sure that that nose is nice and bright, and then I'll be popping that into the lamp for a full cure before I do my final top coat. I did also decide to use my fine detailer brush just to add a little bit of a mouth for the reindeer as well. For our fourth design, that's going to be our Snowflake design, and I am using Mystique and Aurora from Halo. I would have liked just to have used Aurora on its own, but mine is really on its last legs, so I need to go and get another bottle. So I'm going to do 2 coats of Mystique and then a coat of Aurora, and once I have done that and fully cured them all, I'll start doing the design. So I want to do a layer of non-wipe top coat now and fully cure it so that I have a finished nail to work on, and you'll see why in a moment when I explain what I'm doing with the Snowflake. So I've decanted some white onto my backing paper again, and I'm just using the same fine detailer brush to start creating the Snowflake. So I basically start by doing a cross of equal lengths, so each line is equal in length, and then I do another cross like on the diagonal to create the base of our snowflake. I've done this slightly off to the side because I'm going to add some snow falling down with a dotting tool later as well. You can place these snowflakes anywhere on the nail. You don't have to have a full snowflake, you could have half a snowflake. It's entirely up to you. So now that I've done the base of my snowflake, I still haven't cured this, this is still all wet, so you need to be quite careful. I'm just coming in again with that detailer brush and making smaller lines off of each branch. There are lots of different ways you can do snowflakes. Some people like to use a dotting tool. There's loads of different designs you could do for snowflakes, but this is just the one I decided to do today. So on each branch I'm going to do all of those little lines. On the first 4 I'm going to do 3 small lines, and then on the other branches, the diagonal branches, I'm going to just do 2 so that they're not overlapping. So the reason that I haven't cured this like between the lines is because I want to use that crystal acrylic powder over again to give this an embossed kind of effect, a 3D kind of effect. If you weren't going to do that and you were just going to have the full nail matte or the full nail glossy, of course you could flash cure in between lines if you're worried about bumping the others. So just before I go and cover with that crystal acrylic powder again, I'm using a dotting tool just to make some falling snow, and as more and more product comes off of that dotting tool, you get a variation of sizes of dots, just as you would with normal natural snow. So I'm just dotting those around before I come in with me crystal NSI acrylic powder, the same technique as I used before on the sweater nail, pouring that over the wet design and then popping it into the lamp to cure. So just as I did before, using a brush to dust off any of the excess powder, and as you can see, that gives us a lovely effect of the matte embossed glittery snowflake on top of that really glossy background. I like to use a glittery background, you don't have to. These are just designs, you can do entirely what you like. So for the next and final design, I'm going to actually be using Tahiti from Halo. I'm going to be using Vogue from Glitter Stella for the glitter, and I do actually also end up using Orchard from Halo as well. The first step is to lay down 2 layers of Tahiti. As you can see, you could easily get away with one with this colour. It is so pigmented. This is actually a Christmas present design, and of course you could do it in really Christmassy colours, red and gold, red and green, any colours you liked. I just decided to change it and do it with purples, just so you can see that you don't always need to use those traditional Christmas colours for your Christmas nail designs. Sometimes clients quite like to be out of the box and use different colours but still have that Christmas element in their nail design. So once I've done my 2 layers of colour and they're fully cured, I'm actually coming in then with non-wipe top coat and doing a layer of that and curing before we move on to the next step. And it is quite important because when we pour the glitter over later, we don't want that to be sticking into anything. So now we've got a really nice non-sticky surface to work on. So I am just going to come in again, fine detailer brush. I probably should have used a liner brush for this. It was a little bit tricky, especially trying to work underneath my tripod so you guys can see what I'm doing to get straight lines. So this isn't as perfect as I'd like it to be, but I did my best under the tripod as I could. As you can see, I actually ended up wiping this off first of all. But I am going to do the straight lines of the ribbon first, and then I come back in to do the loops of the ribbon, so the bow of the ribbon. This all needs to be kept wet. You can't flash cure any of this because you're going to pour the glitter over after to get that beautiful sugared effect. So now I'm happy with the bow. Well, I'll say happy, I'm not completely happy with it, but it's the best that I could do today. I'm going to use a scoop again just to pour over that Vogue from Glitter Stella and pour that into the wet gel before it's cured, tap off the excess and pop it into the lamp, and we'll brush off the stuff that doesn't need to be there afterwards. Brushing that off now with the same brush that I've been using. This is just an eyeshadow brush from the pound shop. It's nothing special. Managed to drop that right in there and make a right mess. When you're doing designs like this, sometimes the glitter does get a little bit stuck in those small nooks and crannies, so I just used to like to come in with my metal tool and gently scrape it away, making sure that I don't damage the top coat underneath. So that's all of our 5 designs today completed. As you can see, they're all quite simple to do if you just use a little bit of patience and the right tools. It's really important when you're doing nail art to use really good quality brushes, make your life much easier. But with it being December and Christmas season, I thought might be helpful for you guys if I did a little video. If I get time, I will do another one with maybe some more complicated Christmas designs, but these are all ones that you can pick up pretty quickly. I will leave all of the products that I've used today down below in the description box, and of course I will leave links to my social media. As always, I hope this was helpful to you. I'd love to know what other kinds of videos you'd like to see. I really haven't had that much time recently to be able to do videos, but hopefully things are settling down a bit now and I can get back into a rhythm of posting regularly. So please leave me comments and suggestions of things you would like to see in future videos. Thanks as always for watching. I hope this was useful to you, and if you do have any questions or anything, of course you can contact me via my social media or in the comments below, and I try to get back to as many people as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in the next one.